I love collecting, and I collect lots of movies. But I just seem to accumulate and hoard way too much. And recently, I've been wondering, is there a reason why? Is it something that's deeper rooted in our human DNA that pushes us to go further and gather more and more of this stuff? I suppose at a base level it can be tracked right back to our caveman days during the hunter-gatherer period, when we needed to gather things just to survive. But now, what is it that keeps us collecting and gathering these seemingly unimportant things? Well, there have been various studies that have found certain traits in our human behaviour.
Now on to these test results.
That are pretty much commonplace among all of us. And here are a few that I think have affected my habit or my hobby. The mirror effect is a psychological phenomenon by which people tend to develop a liking for something merely because they're familiar with them. Advertisers use this all of the time. The exposure to the frequent adverts and seeing that one product over and over. And whether you like it or not, all of the names, all of the brands, all of the products, they stay in your mind. And in this modern day world, it's a frequently used tactic throughout everything. It's being used or seen on your favourite TV show, or you see a famous face using the product. And it doesn't just stop there. It's in your hand. It's all over our social media feeds. There are numerous adverts on this little thing, and all of the algorithms to track what we're looking at, and then the adverts are targeted to hit and increase your exposure to a particular product. Next time you're on social media, just take a moment to count up how many adverts are among our actual friends and groups. I bet there's 70% of things that you're just not subscribed to. Then we come down to the YouTubers. We all love to watch them reviewing and opening up the latest product. Wonder why these YouTubers are given the free stuff to show us? Well, the advertisers know that the more exposure they get, the more the product stays in our minds. The more likely you are to click that buy button. The more exposure we're subjected to, you tend to start justifying that purchase. You start imagining a life where you had this product too. How much better would your life be if you had that thing that that YouTuber was talking about? Now this one's a biggie. It's perhaps the one that affects my buying habits the most. The Diderot effect. It's something that occurs when you're buying a new product. And then that one product leads to a spiral of consumption. And it results in buying even more things. Buying just that one thing causes a chain reaction to get more and more. Each new item makes you feel like you need other things to go with it. And that, it can lead you to overspending and accumulating more possessions than you actually need or wanted. Oh, now, when I look at my movie collection, I've not just picked up one or two of the Marvel movies that I've enjoyed. I've felt impulsed to get them all because they should go together, right? You buy a new pair of jeans. Well, obviously you might need a new belt or a new style top to complement that original purchase. Retailers know about this sort of habit, and the Diderot effect, it can be seen all across the high street. One of the easiest examples to use is supermarkets. You're buying pasta, then you'll find the tomatoes, the seasoning and the oils right there, handily next to the pasta. You want some nachos? Oh look, the salsa dips, they're right there next to them. The perfect partners and the things that complement each other. When it comes to holding on to these things, or the hoarding of a collection, it's when the endowment effect comes into play. The endowment effect finds that people, or us, we're more likely to retain an object that we own than buy that same object if we didn't already own it. Do I want to buy that new release movie that's currently number 1 in the retailer charts? No. But if I had gone out and picked it up, then regardless of my feelings towards the movie, I'd more than likely keep it. And it's not just that. The endowment effect can also be about the value that we place on an item when we own it compared to the true market value. So then, when we look at clearing through our collections, the perceived value with us holding the item is often far greater than what we'd get back for it. With this in mind, it always makes us just pause for thought. The item is suddenly worth more to you as the owner than what it would be worth to someone else. It's that part of the endowment effect that keeps our collections full. We place a value on these things for more than they're actually worth, often more than twice of what we'd be willing to pay for the item should we have needed to buy it, if we didn't already have it. Now from the name, you kind of have an idea of where this is going. The Goldilocks effect. Now the principle of this, it takes its name from the very same children's story. I've run out of honey. Anyway, it affects our spending. When shopping around retailers, they always give us options. And each time we have options, we very rarely go for the cheapest option. It was too cold. Pricing structures and placement of products. When we have these 3 options, they're done in such a way that as a consumer, we're kind of steered towards that middle option, the one that's just right. Often of these 3 products, the higher priced product will cost you substantially more than the previous 2 options. With my movie collecting, generally we'll get a DVD version. It's seen as the inferior. It doesn't look the best. It lacks many extra special features. And on the whole, it's generally just too basic. Then there's the now middle of the road Blu Ray version. It offers up a better picture. It offers a whole bunch of extras. And usually it's not much more price-wise than that previous DVD edition. This one, it seems just right. Then of course, there's that third option, the super duper 4K UHD, which is made for the newer tech, has a superior picture quality, and it often includes the Blu Ray with all those extra features. Now the pricing for this option, it's a larger gap between this and the Blu Ray than it was between the DVD and the Blu Ray. It's the premium option, but sometimes, is this sort of premium really worth it? Is that mid-range Blu Ray enough? There's always options there. I see where my collection's been steered with what I've been picking up. The bulk of my collection sits on Blu Ray, which is seen as the mid-level. Have I been steered towards this option through the Goldilocks effect? Has it been used to frame Blu Ray as being the product that's generally just right for me? I guess I'm now wondering if these things were all intentional pickups, or if the retailers have got a better understanding of human behaviour than I have for my own behaviours. Have they just hit the right buttons for me to push me over that purchasing cliff? How much of this stuff is really me? And how much of this stuff have I picked up purely down to these triggers?